Hey, everybody, welcome to day 14 of the 21-day reset teaching based from As a Man Thinketh. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And so this study in the reset time of alignment and going after everything that it is that you want to see, do, and have in life is aligning our thoughts, understanding and acknowledging that our thoughts drives our behavior. It really brings the outcome of what it is that we truly believe in our minds and in our thoughts and cherish in our hearts. And so often we, don't get what we say that we want, but we haven't reflected inside in order to go the distance. A person without reflection, isn't going to go very far. But if you travel within, you cannot stay still for very long, because what happens is that when we travel within ourselves and we take the time to reflect and gain understanding, to grow our awareness, then we are able to enlarge our territory, enlarge our capacity for understanding and wisdom. So the past couple days over the weekend, I took some time to reflect, everything that I've been reading and journaling and going through and kind of presenting here as I'm going through it. I realized that I still have so much awareness to grow into. I have so much, understanding to learn about myself. And so I took a couple of days to really reflect on what it was that's important to me. And when we think about these areas that we're growing, whether it's your financial growth, your physical health growth, and your spiritual, your relational, right, your work career, whatever it is that you want to grow in your life, it really comes down to the same thing. Is that when I'm working with clients and I'm working with teams, I'm working with people and talking, or just sitting down with friends, talking about life and talking about purpose and growth and, going after things, it really comes down to, I really just want that's what it is. I just want I just really want to know that everything's okay. I want to create certainty in my life of knowing what it is that everything that I've done, right, was work towards peace, right? Feeling peace, feeling calmness within myself, with my family, with my relationships, with my world, right? That's why we have retirement. When people are thinking about retirement, whether you see it as positive or negative, we're working towards a change in life, a change in pace. Whether you never retire in life or you do, that's completely up to you. But you're still working towards I don't want to have to work as hard. I don't want to have to work I don't want to work in order to live, right? I'm working so that I can live and have the lifestyle that brings me. I'm working hard on my relationships so that when I come home or I'm spending later years of my life, that I'm right, feeling that peace, feeling that calm, going after serenity. And serenity and calmness is the fulfillment of promise. It's really like when God says, I give you the keys to the kingdom. When you think about a kingdom living, when you're thinking about somebody that rules in a kingdom or, has the ultimate, not lording over people or ruling over people, but when you think that you're the king or the queen of your house, you're king and queen of your livelihood, or the king and the queen of you're creating what it is that you want. What does that look like? What does that sound like? And it's more than possession. It's that, right? Isn't that what it is that we want? It's not about that achievement. It's that fulfillment of, and so we have to travel within to have that understanding of what are the storms in my life? What are the things that are causing me to feel storms or to feel restless or to feel uncertain? What are those things? And why is it that, hey, welcome. Why is it that I'm feeling those things? Is is it something that I'm believing about myself, or I'm believing about others, or that I'm allowing, again, those outside circumstances and situations to cause me to respond in a positive or negative way? I, was just having a conversation today with somebody about a relationship that they had, we're talking about a relationship. They really love this person. They enjoy being with this person, but there's lack of communication, or there's something that takes place that triggers their behavior and sends them into a whirlwind of stormy thoughts, bringing uncertainty, causing anxiety. And so, spending some time doing some NLP and shifting their perspective of, how they truly want to feel, or do they understand, or they see they're actually creating this for themselves, this anxiety themselves, by looking at the other person and how the person is not responding to them. But do they have a good idea of how they want the person to respond? And does the other person realize exactly what it is that they're doing? And so we went through this whole process. And I said, write it out, write what's going on, because so often we have a narrative, we have things going on in our mind, and we're creating these scenarios and situations and the expectation of how that person would respond, or how that person sees through their own world. They've had their own experiences, they have their own traumas, they have their own insecurities, they have their own stuff going on that they're absorbed in, that they don't see what's going on with their relationship. And so if you're not able to share with them what's going on with you, you got two storms hitting each other. Two storms coming at each other, creating a tsunami that, will eventually end in disarray, not really being able to find your port and where you want to land in, or where you're able to sail into the calm waters of life. And so we really want to get an understanding of what's going on within us that's causing this anxiety, or this uncertainty, or, this behavior to sabotage my relationships, or sabotage me from earning the money that I truly want to earn, or starting that new business, or, going to the gym and working out, getting my health right. Like, that is the real issue of travel. Unless you travel within, you will not go the distance. In the book, As a Man Thinketh, it says, the strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He is like a shade giving tree in a thirsty land, or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet tempered, balanced life? We're all going after that, wouldn't you say? Those that say, aha, you're right, that's the last thing I want, then you probably don't want to spend much time with that person, because that person loves storms and they love to create storms. And if you're wanting serenity and you're wanting peacefulness within yourself, understanding that brings peace and tranquility to others, then that's not a good match, right? It doesn't matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite poise of character, which we call serenity, is the last lesson of culture. It is the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold. Yeah, than even fine gold. Wow, serenity is the last lesson of culture. It's the flowering of life, the fruitage of the soul. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold. Yes, fine gold. How insignificant mere money seeking looks in comparison with a serene life. It's not money that you're seeking. It's that financial freedom of just, right? That relationship, that tight, strong, secure relationship, because it brings that, right? Like the quarreling and the discontent and the dissatisfaction with one another. We're seeking this with one another. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers? We see it all over the world here, right? Who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood. It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How many times have you been in a situation, a circumstance, maybe by a spouse or a partner or a loved one, where, you're tired, you've had an exhausting day, there's lots of pressure to perform at work or pressure to perform here and there, whatever it is that you're doing, you're feeling pressure, you're feeling exhausted. And then somebody comes in and they're challenging you. They're feeling pressure. They're feeling challenged and they have no control in their emotions. And they come in and they want to just pick a fight. They want to do some war with somebody because they feel like that is the best way to exercise that negative energy by passing it on to somebody else. Have you ever been there in that circumstance where you're tired and somebody has triggered you, said something, wanted to pick a fight, and you took the bait? You took the bait and you replied back with that animal awareness reaction, right? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, right? Oh yeah, you pick one with me. Let's go. Let's go now. Let's go right after it. And it turns out into a big blooming fight. And then you end up saying something that you wish you had never had. And the person ends up storming out the door, saying things that really can't be unsaid, and left with pain. This is the storm. This is the lack of self-control that we can go down to a lower level of awareness because we're really defending ourselves. We're protecting ourselves. People are against me, and you go into that victim mentality. But today's session is that's not what we're seeking. We're seeking the higher level of awareness that God is good. God is always working things out for our good. And so challenges, right? Challenges, conflicts are opportunities for us to really ask greater questions. In us discovering how it really is up to us. If somebody has made you happy, mad, glad, or sad, you've been had. If somebody is troubling you and somebody is disturbing your peace and somebody is taking something from you and you're giving that way, it's not their fault. It's not their responsibility. It's yours. It's mine. And come on, I am responsible for that. In fact, I remember living at that level of awareness that I just would want to pick and say something right back. And I'm really good at cutting like a knife with my words. I can do it really well, but I refuse to do that. If my husband is in a bad mood, he wants to pick something or he wants to I just won't, I'm not entertaining it. I will have a conversation now because I know what happens. You go days without talking to each other or silence, and getting back to that place of asking for forgiveness or whatever, that's worse than, okay, let me just take a step back here. Let's put peace to this storm. Let's peace to the storm. And how do we bring peace to a conflicting relationship or conflicting finances? Is that we find solutions to those problems, because every challenge, every conflict is an opportunity to resolve. And you have everything within you. I have everything within me to resolve and find that solution. I love the story about Jesus. He's out on the storm and he knows he was Jesus. He saw storms coming, and this was a perfect metaphor, a beautiful metaphoric story about calming storms. So it's not just about Jesus being on the storm of the water. It's really the reflection of our life. It's a metaphor of life that a huge storm comes onto the waters. And so high are the waves that they're crashing in on the boat. And they're getting tossed and thrown. And Jesus is at the bottom of the boat. He's underneath and he's sleeping. And the disciples, the men that are on the boat with him, are angry with him. They're so upset. Rabbi, why are you sleeping? Why are you sleeping? How can you be sleeping in this storm? He's like, what is your problem? I'm paraphrasing, Grace Simon paraphrasing, but it's, what is your problem? Like, why are you getting so upset? Speak to the storm. You can speak to the storm. You have a voice. You have the authority to speak to that storm. He was irritating. He was having a good sleep. He wasn't worried about the storm. He knew that it was going to be okay. So how often can we not just speak to that storm? How often do we not speak to that storm, but we get carried by the waves? We get taken away by the conflict and the worry and the uncertainty. Or do we speak to that storm and say, not today, not today, Satan, get behind me, right? Get behind me, Tempest. Whatever it is that's, causing that conflict and that anxiety, not today. The truth is that you're okay. I'm okay. You're okay. I'm okay. You've always been okay. Even when things were so hard to bear that you didn't see a way out, there's always a way out, right? Either somebody came into your life that spoke into your life, mentored you, helped you along, or you heard a great podcast, or you read a great book, or you sat and you just gave yourself a minute enough to find the solution. You were able to calm that storm. I reflect about the times of life of not having money, not having any money, right? On having collectors calling and knocking on the door, a vehicle being taken away. Been there, done that. That was the worst time of life, right? Thinking that the world was against you or nobody was going to help you. Worst is the greatest because it's where you find the growth, right? And where you discover, the people in your life or the solutions of things that you can change and shift and learn and understand. We make, right? Where we mishandle. Often, people will get divorced, they'll wreck a relationship and they won't look at this. They won't look to resolve the problem. They'll just take the problems with them. And guess what? The problems go with them. So I just want to encourage you in this day 14 study is to take some time to reflect, on the areas that you want to grow in your life. Why do you want to grow them? Why is it important? How do I get myself to that place? How do I understand in that place of serenity of, right? When I do grow in these areas, when I set these goals of achievement, what does that mean? What will that mean for me? What will that mean for my life? What will that mean for others? Right? Right now where I'm feeling anxiety, or I'm feeling uncertain, I'm feeling a little worried about this. Go to everything in prayer, right? Go to everything in prayer, but also seeking wisdom, the wisdom that's within you. It said, seek first his kingdom, which is in us, and his righteousness, which is in us, and everything shall be added unto us. So seek out that serenity, seek out that wisdom, seek out that kingdom thinking that's within yourself, that is held by God, that's held by who works everything out for your good, that wants the good in your life. And say, how do I speak to the storm? How do I speak and declare and prophesy over this situation? In Ezekiel 37, I think it's 37. God is saying to Ezekiel, he takes him out to the valley of the dry bones. 37, 38. And I love this chapter because God takes Ezekiel, the prophet, into the valley of the dry bones. And he has Ezekiel walk out. I mean, he's in a vision, right? He's in a vision, but I do this practice, this NLP practice that is exactly like this. So it's so awesome when they feel stuck, they feel a shift, like they can't get out of it, and they're stuck in a belief, and they're stuck in a situation. They believe that they're stuck. I'll say, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? So the story of Ezekiel, where God is taking Ezekiel in this vision of these valley of these dry bones. He's saying he has him observe, looking at this valley of dry bones, and he says to Ezekiel, he says, what do you see? What do you see? So in your situation, in your circumstance where you're feeling a little uncertain and unclear or unsure, what do you see? Look at it. Lay it out on the table, an imaginary table, or go into that valley of the situation and step out from it. Go up and down its situation, the corners of it, and say, what do you see? What do you see? What do I see? And then the next question he asked Ezekiel was, can this situation be changed? So ask yourself in this situation, can this situation be changed? Look at it from the outwards perspective, looking in on whatever it is that's taking away peace. It's whatever is taking away serenity, whatever that storm is that you're not speaking to, look at it. What do you see? And can this situation be changed? Is it really that broken? What am I missing? What am I missing? And then speak to that situation. I've seen this before. I've experienced this already. Oh, I remember a time when this exactly was happening. And this is what I did in order to correct it, or this is how I moved out from it. This is how this how this got changed for my life. This is what happens. So if I figured it out then surely I can figure it out now. And you'll start to begin to see these solutions, right? Right? I only have $10 in my bank account. Okay. If I only have $10 in my bank account, right? What can I do? I got this coming due, this bill payment thing, and I only have $10. What is it that I can do over the next 30 days, right? In order to make a change, make a difference in that? What do I have available? I don't know, whatever it may be doing, or finding time in your schedule. Look at where can you schedule time for things that are important, for learning about finances, or being mentored by somebody, or going to the gym, or, going out for a walk, doing your door knocking, whatever that may be doing. Ask that question. Can this situation be changed? And how quickly can it be changed? Speak to that situation, prophesy, it shall live. Speak to the bones. He says to Ezekiel, speak to the dry bones, speak to them. Speak to them. And all of a sudden he hears this rattling of the bones coming to life, and the bones start to come to life, right? And he speaks breath over those bones. He speaks breath over those bodies. All of a sudden, right? Skin and ligaments and muscles grow onto these bones, and he speaks life, and the bodies rise up from the ground. But he speaks the life to it, and he sees it taking place. You have the same power within you to create life and change a situation. I have the same ability in myself to change a situation. But I need to first observe, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you believe, if that can be changed or not? Can those bones, can those dry bones, can that relationship, can those finances, can your body, can your spiritual well-being, your relationship with God, can that be changed? How can you speak life to it? Heard a story the other day where God had the world. What is it to gain the whole world and to lose your soul? What is that for? We were having a conversation at home church yesterday, and someone who had the whole world, had talent and gifting and money overflowing, felt so empty and deserted and desolate, like means nothing, because he lost his soul in the process. To even that, can a man live? How can this situation change? Speak and prophesy over yourself. Declare yourself, I shall live and not die. I'm okay. I've always been okay. And I always will be okay. Because God and his entire universe is conspiring for my good. That's Romans 8. It's conspiring for my good. People aren't conspiring against me. That's the lower level of awareness. But living from a place of perfectiveness with God, living from a place of God says, draw close to me. Come up here. Come. Experience me and I'll draw close to you and you'll see how I'm working for your good. These things, these storms, these things that are happening in your life, they're not against you. They're for you. Speak, declare, prophesy, call them up. Go after it. So that's my reflection of blessedness and serenity. See what you see. Hear what you hear. How can the situation be changed? Declare the change. Be the change. Move in the change and see the change come to life. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 15. Goodbye, friends. Have a great night.